My people, what's up? And we're back to the Swervinn podcast. Hope everyone's been having a great summer. Just had to take some time and touch some grass and just revamp some things. So got some new production in house and things about to kick off. So had to kick it back in a big way. We got my guy Rocco in the house, man. It's been a big one coming. So
yeah, man.
Glad to have you.
Yes, sir.
It's my dog. People don't know you, Rocco. Who's Rocco Aliberti for people that don't know you?
Yeah. So kind of kick this back off, you asked, where I come from. A lot of people don't realize it, but I came from Maine. So my life was split between two different places. That's kind of where sports started for me. And that's where a big part of who I am and my identity has been tied to this sport called hockey, which is the most unbelievable sport on planet Earth. Let's put it out there like that.
Love it.
But it's been tied to that for so long. But I was born in Lewiston, Maine. So I was born in the cold, and that's where hockey started coming from. And snowboarding and skiing and all that stuff. But the main thing that I took out of up north was playing hockey. I was partially raised in Maine, so my parents moved here when I was 11 years old. Honestly, it's weird to think too backwards. If my parents never would have moved, where my life would have been. Everybody thinks about some weird shit like that sometimes, but like,
we're your friends and things now.
Just friends, everything. Yeah,
Frequency, bro.
it would have been like, I don't know. I don't know where I'd be in life. I still think I'd be going down the same paths that I'm doing right now. It's because who I am and built inside me, but it's different to think about if I'd have stayed up there. Would I have been better at hockey? Would I be doing more in that sport? What would have happened in my life? But we moved here because my mom had a pituitary tumor in her brain, basically. When we were younger, we didn't really know what that truly meant. My parents would fight. Well, first of all, let's reverse it. There was no, at that time, what am I, 43? So you got to be thinking now it's 32.
43?
Yeah, I'm 43.
I thought you were like 40.
Yeah, man, I'm getting old. I'll be 44 this year. But and my girl over there in the corner, she's a young buck, so I picked up a little youngin' that's a smoke show, so that's good. Not doing bad for 43.
Not at all.
Yeah, but
Rocco can kick it.
Yeah, I can still hang, and sometimes I can't. But my mom was really sick, and my dad had a really super successful business up there. He was a mechanical engineer, architectural engineer. But at the time, the only doctors, now technologies came a long way in 35 years, right? But the only doctors back then that could really work on my mom were the doctors at Barnes. Not the only doctors, but the best that you could possibly get were in Barnes. And she already had family that was from here, from Cape Girardeau. So I had aunts, uncles, cousins, a bunch of people, and we would visit St. Louis frequently because of that. But my mom had chemotherapy, and then she ended up having this surgery. The first time she had this surgery, she's had it 3 different times. First time she had the surgery, though, they cut her face from here to here and flipped her face up.
How old were you?
At the first one, I think I was like 6, 7.
6?
I think, it might have been like 8 or 9. But my grandma came and stayed with us up in Maine when this happened, and my mom stayed in St. Louis for like a month with my aunt and uncle. Then when she came back, they can't get it all, right? So they can't get the tumor completely out of my mom's head, because if they do that, it cuts part of her brain out. Mm-hmm. It's attached, and they don't know what they think they know the consequences. They think she'd be fine, but you're still rolling the dice. They start taking pieces of your brain out. You never know what the hell is going to happen to you. So my dad and her opted not to do that, and they knew that over time it's going to come back and grow again. Have to do another surgery, come back and grow again, and do another surgery. So. Once my dad figured that out, man, it took him all about 2 minutes to decide, okay, well, we're moving. So he put up his business, which was really hard for him to do, that's his friends, that's his livelihood, and move 24 hours away, because that's how long it takes to drive from St. Louis to Maine, is 24 hours almost, and move his whole family, move everything, just to make sure that my mom was cool and make sure that she stayed alive and everything was okay. And that's what kicked us off here in St. Louis. From there, we were born and raised in North County. Caused a lot of shit when I was younger, that's for damn sure. But some of the things that stayed with me my whole life has been sports. Mm-hmm. I relate and operate and do everything I do on a day-to-day basis based around something like that. I believe sports in a locker room, I think it relates to a lot of what life is too. Teamwork, camaraderie, showing up on time, do your job, defend the people around you. Like, all that stuff comes from sports. All that mentality comes from hockey, comes from who I am at that point. it's just built everything that's been anything, for me. And my identity's been really tied to that sport my whole life. I operate my business the exact same way with your teammates and one team, one family, and love and support and all that stuff. And I wouldn't be who I was if it wasn't for that game. But that game started in Maine, and it kept going here and kept going to college. This past year, we won a national title for Division II hockey, which has actually been incredible. But that also started my career into fitness industry. So I started when I was 18 years old being a salesperson for Bally Total Fitness. My boy Dan Hatfield, he'll probably watch this because now he's running all these crunches in St. Louis. But he took a chance on me, gave me a job. Actually gave me a job that like paid really well. At that time I could make anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a year, 18, 19 years old out of college. Not out of college, while still going to college. Yeah, I still going to college. And, there's grown people that had families that were in these positions. And I don't know, but he gave it to me. Now, I was the third salesperson at a massive gym. So, like, I had to fight and claw my way to get my sales and do my stuff. But eventually, I started outshining all these people, and they moved me over to be the manager in a different place. I left that business, went to Club Fitness. They treated me the exact same way. I got really close to the owners. And Greg Senatempo, a guy that was another really good friend, gave me another career that in fitness that you shouldn't have had at my age at the time. Excelled really big at that. Left that company, started a marketing agency. My first client was Club Fitness. After I left there, my first client, the two owners became really good friends, and they were like, "Man, if you work really hard for me, I think you should do our marketing." I was like, "You guys are going to give me this marketing gig? Like, are you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely." So like our first client starting our own web design, print, all this stuff company was Club Fitness. I was like, "Oh shit, man, now we got to show up. We got to do our job, And we did. Took that company to be really big, massive. It was actually an awesome business that we had. It got me so much stuff. It took me into boxing. I started boxing because of my business that I had right there. I started doing MMA because of that stuff. Worked with Tyron Woodley, Ryan Coyne. Did a lot of music. I mean, we got to do so much cool shit that it was unbelievable.
I know that, man. That's why I had to have you on because and I appreciate that answer, like where you come from. It sounds like you come from an appreciation from your father, hard work with your brothers within Maine and hockey. And then, like you said, that is sports camaraderie. Also sacrifice too, seeing that your father sacrificed, his will and his integrity to make a move, and the dating world nowadays, I don't think a lot of men would do that.
Not at all, not even close.
No, and then so just that, I feel like that's what makes the solid man you are and the father. So that's why I fuck with Rock.
Shit, I'll tell you what you just said right there is a real thing. I mean, a lot of guys, not even the dating world, a lot of people that are married, they see something like that, they're like, you go do your thing, I'll get divorced or something. They're not willing to go that fullest extent to make sure their partner and their family is done right. And it took me not just many years, I'm talking like 2-3 different decades to really understand what that meant.
No, for real.
It wasn't like I just got it at a young age. Like my dad moved his whole family and sold his business until I had a business that was succeeding like his business. And I was like, oh shit, imagine if I just had to do this, like, man, you just go, which is crazy.
I feel like it's so funny that like some of the shit that your father tells you at an age, like you go back in your own time and you just laugh about because like they were so right.
The whole time.
you just
like,
gotta
man, I was hoping they were wrong, but they were right.
Time just has to time, man. And you just like they end up being right, and that's why I just love my dad, and I know that you love your dad too, and it makes us the men who we are.
Damn
so
right.
Let's catch up a little bit, man. How's 2020? How was 2024 and how's like 2025, man? Because I feel like 2025 flew by. So
man, I'll tell you what. So 2024, this will be kind of the first time I put it out there. First time 2024, my whole entire life changed. I had this vision, this goal of where my life was going to be and how it was going to play out, and it didn't do that. I filed for a divorce in May of 24, and at the beginning of June, May of 24, beginning of June 24. And that was for me. That was and honestly, it's the first time I've talked about it. Last one I was on, I told him was off limits, but I'm okay with it now. For me, that was my parents are still married, and I get it. There's a lot of people who are divorced. I understand that, but
it's over 50%.
Yeah, but I hate losing and I hate failing. Those are the two of my biggest not pet peeves. It's not even a pet peeve. I don't like it at all, right? Filing for divorce, you feel like you failed. And not just your partner, my daughter, the people around us, family members, all types of guilt and all types of things started settling over me at that time when I was trying to make that decision. And I made a decision at the end of May, 1st of June, but obviously that decision's been being thought about for 6 months to a year before there.
Right.
And I gave it a hell of a run and finally made the choice to do it. And it was the best decision for myself that I could have personally done. And no hate on anybody any other way, but for me personally, what I needed in my life and what I was looking for, it wasn't being met. It wasn't how I wanted to live anymore. And, it took a lot for me to actually make that move. And it's been tough. I mean, it's not like it's been an easy road. But then I met somebody along the way, at my little cousin's wedding. My little cousin said, I got somebody who want you to meet. Well, that's actually not how it happened. At first, she texted me. She goes, this girl named Joy Loveless? I said, no. I said, but she just started following me on social media. I said, and she liked a bunch of my pictures. Should I block her? So I thought my little cousin had just seen my page and was like hating for a second. I was like, I don't even know who this person is. I'll block the shit out of her. What do we need to do? And she goes, no, you idiot. I'm sitting with her right now. I was like, oh, okay. She tells Joy my story because she had just got left a fiance in a similar situation. So my little cousin tells Joy my story, and Joy's telling her like the same kind of story that she's got going over there. And my little cousin, I can just see her eyes. I wasn't there, but Joy was, and my little cousin, I could see her eyes. Her eyes like got really big and lit up. She's like, "Oh, wait a minute, you and my cousin?" Joy was like, "No, I'm good." Like, no, I'm good. And same thing when she called me and asked me that, and I said, "Tori," I said, since I've filed for divorce and everything, I said probably 30, 40 people have been like, I got somebody I want you to meet. I got somebody I want you to meet. And I'm like, dude, I'm cool. I just got out of something like this. I don't want to meet nobody.
You need some Rocco time.
That's what I'm saying. Let me get some Rocco time. I don't know nobody. So both of us are saying, hell no, hell no, hell no. Then we met at my cousin's wedding. We spent every day since then, September 14th of last year. And it's been incredible. I was looking for a partner that wanted to be with me all the time and share the same.
Be with you, like not like. And when you say that, you really mean like with you. And that was like one of the questions I had. Like, yeah, you're not changing shit who you are. Like that's just part of the package, And I feel like that's rare, that people like really accept who you are. And like, I feel like women just like sometimes it's like, oh, I want this, but it's a whole package thing. It has to be both sides.
Damn right.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
So I feel you when you're talking.
Yeah, man. And I earned for that, honestly. It was something that like I watched my sister, watched my best friend Steve and his wife, Jason and his wife, and all my other friends and their wives, and I'm like, man, I want that. Like I want
Jason
somebody.
His wife's fun.
Yeah, I want somebody that's with me all the time. That I can hang out with, I can wake up with, we can do breakfast, we can do this, and I just didn't have that.
Yeah.
And when it came around, I was like in shock, like, man, is there fucking cameras on me? Like, how is this really how people act? And this is how they're supposed to be. And then you fast forward almost a year later now, we're 2 months away from being together for a year now, which is crazy. And it's been the best thing ever. Nothing's changed. Like you said, I didn't have to change who I was. Like I just kept being who I was. And honestly, she's the one, like we sit up and have a glass of wine while she sits out there while I smoke my cigars and talk about business, talk about life, how to make each other better, and it's been unbelievable.
I love that, man.
So that for 2024 to 2025, that's been the best thing. Second half of that, I won a national hockey tournament in fucking college hockey, so that was incredible. So it's been setting up to have a really good year. It has been. Now the last half of this year, we got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to make happen, but it's been setting up to be a really good year. It goes from like a year ago that you thought like you're in one of the worst positions your entire life. You're going to lose all this goddamn money. You're going to lose your house. Like everything. You're like, dude, everything's about to change. Till now, you're like, I'm okay with that change. Everything worked out for the better.
Frequency is, I never question it. I tell everybody that. Like, I never question frequency and like the people that I run to and shit that's meant to happen, man. Because like, we all walk our own walk, and like what happens within that is just meant for you to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, it's just like you said, it's just so good looking back and being like, you either folded or accepted it, or you got built different. But like I was listening to one of your podcasts, like we're all meant to evolve in this life, not not go backwards. So the
Yeah.
situations that you're handled with, as long as you evolve from that, that's all that matters. And I love that shit.
Yeah, you got to get better.
So, man, coming up, I feel like you had a lot of like tough love to like make you who you are, and like just the solid Rocco you are. Like, what was some of that like kind of formed who you are today? Like,
Yeah,
your dad and like uncles and shit.
dad, uncles, my cousin Nick, then also my friends around me. So we had to make sure that we held each other accountable when we were younger, because if not, things would happen with some of them. Some got locked up, some were dead. Just like everybody. Everybody's got friends that are in jail. Everybody's got friends that are dead. Well, most people do. But once we started happening like a pattern on a regular basis, we started being like, oh shit, I think we need to start checking each other. I think we better start waking the fuck up. It's going to happen to all of us.
Right.
The first one.
Is this your St. Louis or Maine circle?
St. Louis.
Okay.
My first one that kind of went away was my boy Zoe. He actually is about to get out here in December, but he's like 13 years deep. Then I had a couple other ones that went 9 to 12 years. But when he got first sentence, we were like, because we were all doing dumb shit, and everybody does dumb shit until they're caught. And then if you keep doing dumb shit, then you deserve to be caught, but it was a wake up call of like, okay, when you don't see them boys in the background, they are there. And until you fucking wake the fuck up, that's when you wake up one day with your hands behind your back going, oh shit, everything's fucked from here on out, So we started holding each other accountable as a friend group like that. But my cousin Nick has kind of held me accountable since I've been a young kid. When I first moved to St. Louis, I was smaller. I came in the middle of grade school to people that already had their friendship groups established. It wasn't like I showed up at kindergarten.
Right.
It was like fifth, sixth grade, and people like at that point you're establishing people around you already. So, and I knew nobody in the first school. Well, actually, the only school I went to besides high school. When I first got here, I was being picked on, and my cousin Nick, he basically told me like, I'm not hearing this shit no more, man. Because I would just go to his house and cry and be pissed off, and he's like, I'm not hearing this shit no more. He goes, next time this happens, if you hadn't knocked somebody out by now, I'd be fucking pissed, basically. Sure as hell, that's exactly what I had to do. And he was right. Nobody started in my grade school, nobody started messing with you anymore. I stood up for myself, and it came from my cousin being hard on me. And my dad actually, it's funny, my dad actually just told Joy this story the other day because, my parents saw the same side of me too. My dad was like, look, he's like, I don't condone fighting. I don't condone none of that shit. He goes, but if you're going to do it, he goes, hit first and hit hard. Remember that, Joy? And I took that to heart. I said, fuck, I mean, if it's going, I'm not trying to get hit first, But also my dad was very hard on me. It took me a long time to understand that too. Like I had two sisters. So, when you want to play fight your brother, like that's different. Me and my cousin and shit, we just beat the shit out of each other. But, not the first time, but one time I wrestled my sister, she pulled my hair and I fucking popped her in the nose. My dad was like, that doesn't happen here. So, pop, and then locked up in my room for a month and shit like that. But, the stuff that I used to be pissed off at my dad for, just like we talked about, man, makes me know that the reason why he was doing. Is my dad an asshole? Fuck yeah, he is.
Yep.
But he's my asshole, and that's I
love it.
We're the ones that could say that to him, but he was definitely really hard on us. But I was talking to my sister. I literally was just talking to my sister about this on 4th of July, because my dad's in a bad spot. Like he's got heart disease, had a heart attack last year. He's got a pacemaker in, lose weight crazy. He's got type 2 diabetes, like you name it. Like he was a big, strong man, and all of a sudden everything just started crumbling around us the last 4 years. They've got him on a timeline. They know it's an irreversible heart disease. They know he's going in sometime in the next couple of years. And my mom's got early set on of Alzheimer's right now. So, I used to have a boat at the Ozarks, and the goal is to have a condo here in the next couple of years and all this stuff. And, the last like 6 to 8 months, that goal has completely changed. And Joy's been completely on board with it because to sell my house, build a new one, and build a mother-in-law suite next to it. I'm going to let my parents live on my property in their own, be, like a 600-700 square foot condo style thing that's attached to my garage. And build a pool back there so my parents can just relax, not pay a single bill for the rest of their life, and live out the rest of their life on our property and be chill. So
No, I love that, and
that's
I feel
gonna
like
happen.
that's how you build legacy and generations. Like, gotta love and like really leave that stuff because
Yeah,
the way you were treated is hereditary. Like, and then things are
that's a
very
very
like
powerful statement right there. That's
things are
true.
very like cycle. Like my mom, she battles from drinking and stuff. Like I do not drink. Like I will not do it. And then like people that go out, sure, you want to have a shot? Like no, I stand on that shit. Like I just don't.
I
do
didn't
it
even know
'cause, like,
that you don't drink. I didn't
nope,
know
I
that.
just don't. So
But good for
because
you.
I know what that is, and like, dude, when I've always drank with my friends and stuff, there was some type of demon in me that like I would just be like over there throwing up and stuff. Like it was always talking to me like, yo, this ain't you.
Yeah.
So I was always like, when I found it within like mushrooms and shit, I was like, yo, like I just should not be drinking alcohol. And my dad would just get like really pissed off at me and shit and be like, just like look at me like that and shit. So
Yeah.
I was like, it was 2 Thanksgivings ago. We were drinking and I woke up the next day. He was pissed, bro. He was like, you know what you were doing last night? You were vomiting and shit in the front yard and shit. He was like, you should not be drinking like that. I was like, and I had a hangover. So that was the first hangover I've ever experienced at 21 and called out of work and all that shit. I was like, and I got done it that night. I got over it like at midnight, bro. I was like, you know what? I'm good with never feeling like that ever again in my life. Like ever. And I just never drink cold turkey. It'll be 3 years on Thanksgiving this year.
Congrats,
so,
bro.
Yeah, so I just feel like we all go through our cycles and journeys and what you find and shit. But I love that about you, about how you said like the boats and shit and like how your goals change because it's more about the small wins as you get older and shit. Like all these fun times and shit's cool, but like, bro, like family and quality time, that shit's the best time. And truly being happy within it, like you were talking about how you went through your divorce and stuff, but you're going through that because your quality time is not being happy within like where you're at. So you got to switch some things up to be happy within Rocco rather than just going out and cheating and doing the cycle of what like is the norm today.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I fuck with that.
Yeah, and that's where that would go,
Oh, 100%.
And there's no question about it. So you nailed it. I mean, that would go to all the way from infidelity on both sides to who knows how bad it can get, if you don't stand up and actually say, this is the change I wanted to do. But I'll tell you what, it's I never thought that that's the type of person I wanted to be in a relationship either. It took me a while to learn that like I want to have somebody around me all the time, and I got married to have somebody around me all the time. When that doesn't happen, this whole vision that you have for it, you're like, fuck, man.
Well, it kind of goes to my next question. You coach and you're a father, so what's the difference between those two? Just kind of balancing it and being at home and stuff, and knowing that you can't bring what you bring to your players home to your daughter, and you got to code things a different way. Like, how do you do that?
That's a very, very good question right there. Very hard question, honestly, because I'm very hard on my daughter. I am. And there's times where like I'm very hard on it to where like I'll even be asking her, a couple hours later, even the next day, like, man, was that too much? Was that too hard on her? And sometimes she'll be like, yeah, maybe it was, but she needs to hear it, or no, it wasn't. She's been acting like this or something, but it never fails. There's never a moment that I'm like, after I yell at her, that I'm like 100% confident that I did it the right way, which is even weirder that I question myself. But every time I'm hard on her, I question if I should have been as hard on her as I am. But then, you watch her afterwards, and then you watch her grow up, and then you watch her how good of a kid she is, how big of a heart she is, and her mom's got to call me, like, because she'll give her mom attitude, but she'll be like, tell your dad what you did, and she won't, and she'll start crying. But like those boundaries got established. So if I wasn't as hard on her, those boundaries would still be blurred, and I'm glad they're not. She knows I'm her dad, that I love her to death, do anything for her, but I'm not her best friend. I'm not her friend. I'm her dad.
Right, there's a line.
Yeah, I'm 100%. Her dad. My players, though, on the other hand, I won't be their friend, quote unquote, while I'm their coach. But as soon as they graduate, I mean, I've been to so many of my players' weddings and stuff like that, and I am their actual friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friend, we got players jobs. They're like, our goal is to make these guys men. They're not going to the NHL.
Yeah.
Some of them could go play some pro, but they're not going like top dog pros.
Sports ain't forever.
No, for sure. I made sure that they're my friends along with becoming men, and it's changed everything. Honestly, it's been awesome. And I I one day can't wait till the day I'm friends with my daughter, but that's not coming until she's graduating, got a husband, all this stuff. You know,
The no rush, yeah.
that's no rush. But I get to my friendship and my players faster. So that's kind of the difference between the two is how hard you have to be on your own kids versus your players will listen to you. And honestly, when they get to me, if they're that bad of a fucking kid in the first place, they're not playing for us no matter what.
Right.
Like it's just not going to be a thing. So we get really good with our recruiting and our players, and but it is a weird line that gets blurred sometimes too. That's for sure.
I love that. The Swervinn podcast, I usually turn the table and let people ask questions to me. So what would be your first question?
Which I know that you're doing this and you're cooking, but man, what's your goal? Where
In
you
life?
It doesn't even have to be in life. Professionally, where do you want to end up? Where do you see in yourself? What, like, if you could do anything you wanted, what do you want to do?
I would do this right here. I think this is like, honestly, like, it started from a weird spot, but kind of like, I feel like through like just shit I do in life, like it's like been questioned. It hasn't been questioned that why I sit here and do this shit and try to reach people that I enjoy. It's not like you came on like, yo, Swerve, want to come on the podcast? Like,
Right.
no, I just really want to talk to you, and I feel like. And I love it because I feel like people like put that aside until they sit down and, we're talking about like some real shit, because that's what life's about. Like we can all hee and ha ha, but like, what are we really, what we talking about?
Yeah.
So I think just like you were talking about being personable, I just try to be that with everybody and just try to get something, because like, we all take something from someone and just try to be solid people in this life. So I just want to be a professional in everything I got hands on. And that's why I fuck with you, because you did that too. Like I umpire, I cook, I do the podcast. Like I got my hands on a lot of shit. So I'm only 20. I'll be 28 in August. So
Yeah.
kind of got like 2 more years till I got to like take that real gamble on like what I want to do. I think I could umpire. I know I could umpire an MLB. But
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
So,
I've never heard one human being I've ever met on planet Earth say some shit like that.
No,
I've got some people that ref and actually in the pros, NHL and stuff like that. But I mean, is anybody else in this room? Like that's a very unique, dope ass thing.
I love it. And like, cause baseball was the thing that like, I started with just my first game I ever umpired. I just went out there with some shorts and shit, like fucking off, like making $25. And then it's grown to this thing to where like I'm doing 17, 18-year-olds and they're calling me like sir and shit. But I'm like, yo, bro, like, don't call me sir. Call me like bro or whatever. You can call me unk, but like, let's just enjoy the game. It's not about me. It's about them and just bringing fun back to
So
it.
you're 17, 18, so that's high school? Is
Yeah.
it like AAA ball?
Yeah,
or like
guys going to go to college and stuff. But I feel like, I don't know, the game just like, when I was growing up, I feel like a lot of people just ran into that one ref that made them hate sports and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why parents are so like they are and stuff. Like, I don't do none of that stuff. Like, I'm out there talking to the catcher, talking to each batter, dapping up and all that. It's about being personable with everybody. And like, I've never went out there to like, for the job to be like, someone be like, man, you're a good umpire. But after every game, I'm just leaving, like, one of them old heads come up and like, hey, Blue.
So what's that path look like?
To get there?
Yeah, I mean, I know.
I got to do a couple camps and shit, but
Okay.
it's really about getting in front of someone who just knows someone and knowing you can call the game solid to make the jump. Because everyone's doing these camps with 400, 500 people each year, but it's just like, yo, I ain't doing all that.
You got to make the jump to college first?
Yeah, I would love to do college the first couple of years just to get like see metal bats, and I've seen high 80s and stuff, and it's fun. So I like to see a couple curveballs and stuff. But yeah, I know I could do it. It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I mean,
But then I rock with the boys at the Biscuit. Like, dude, we're going up.
I know,
like,
man. I know he's got
like,
another
we
idea
got
for
a
another
lot
spot,
rolling.
right?
So yeah, and I'm just like, I just love my spot there. Like people love coming in, seeing me, seeing Cam. Like that's just a unique system. It's 5 people that make it work, and I'm just comfortable within a lot right now. Like I don't rush nothing, man. I just kind of just do what I want and just buy into that shit.
Yeah,
Go
man.
hard at it.
Elliot's got a cool thing going on.
Oh yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, I mean, I when it first popped over there, you weren't thinking like it was going to go the way it was going, and then how close him and Mark got and compounded over time, and I can't wait to see a second, third location open up. Like I know he's got some good shit going on.
We got some good shit going on.
And it's unique. There ain't no other. I mean, that's not that I know. Is there another biscuit spot in St. Louis?
All the way in St. Charles, but nah.
Yeah, not like that.
Making them every day.
We went to Mark's bachelor party in
I wish I was there. So
Denver,
Mhm.
Golden, and we found one. Everywhere we went, we found a coffee shop and a biscuit place. But like, we found one that was pretty cool. I think we ate 1 or 2 of them. But just watching the process, because I'm not in the food and beverage industry and I don't want no fucking part of it, you know. But watching two guys on this trip that are in the food and beverage industry, you know, kind of choose and pick like where we're going for the experience, I was like, man, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this, you know.
It's cool.
I don't have to think about this. These guys know what they're looking for, and they're gonna make sure that we're in some cool spots. And we did eat at some cool spots, but it was also watch them cool doing that, those two guys doing their R&D about how to maneuver a biscuit place, how to maneuver a coffee place. In my head, I'm like, fuck, man, I have no idea how to do this, but I love learning.
I love it too. And that's how we kicked it in New York. Like, I was like, and they don't know how I kick it. Like, but bro, I'm bringing the weed, just bring the just bring the vibes and the food vibes, and we'll just all meet in the middle. And I was like, all right, say less. Like, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
So, back to you, Rocco. Outside looking in, I feel like Miss Joy, like, you know, she truly accepts you. We kind of talked about that, and for you who, and like accepting you for who you are. You know what all comes with like accepting like who you are, and you like your baggage.
Yeah. So, that's a really good question too. I back to you know, my dad being hard on me and, you know, my friends, but I'm really, really, really hard on the people around me, including Joy, and she's really hard on me, including my daughter, including my best friends. You know, we actually, me and her just had this conversation, just like one of our normal nights we do, you know, about holding people around us accountable. And, you know, there was a situation that, in general, that some people weren't, I can't say they weren't being held accountable, but they forgot what that actually meant.
Being accountable is?
Yeah, they forgot what that side of it meant. When somebody tried to hold them accountable for it, they're like, whoa.
They get too comfortable though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, she asked me just in general about my friends and, you know, relaying back messages back to her friends about who I am in general. And, you know, she even said, and it was cool listening to her say it, you know, she's like, look, man, he's 43 years old. He doesn't have to deal with shit. They've already been through the highs and the lows. They've been through all that stuff. And, you know, he's got a standard that he makes sure it's kept around him at all times.
100%. If you see your circle, like, everyone's on the same shit.
Everybody. And we've weeded out everybody that's not.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we don't have some friends that, like, kind of, you know, sometimes they've accidentally thrown an anchor in the water. You're like, pick that motherfucker up. Let's go.
Right.
We got places to go. But for the most part, everybody's pedaling in the same direction, and from standards that we held a long time ago. Everybody in my group knows how fucking hard I'm going to be on them, and vice versa. I expect them to do the same thing to me. So it's not like I'm really hard on people, then I drop my balls. You know, I got to make sure that if I'm really hard on my people around me, that my balls are being picked up and being thrown and shot and doing all the right things. And I think I do that very well. I won't tell you or ask you or even think about presenting something to you for somebody to do or be a part of that I haven't already done or willing to do. You know, if you own a business, you're a toilet cleaner along with a bookkeeper and all this other stuff. In a friend group, you're also a toilet cleaner. Yeah. You know, if you're at my fucking house, you actually piss on the ground, you better be cleaning that up.
100%.
You know, because there's plenty of people that I know that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Those small little details about you. Are you going to use my bathroom at my girl's bathroom? You better wipe off the fucking counter before you walk out of there and make sure there's no water all over the goddamn place.
That's just man shit.
Yeah, but those are the type of standards that we make sure people around us are uphold to, or if not, I mean, we can be acquaintances, but you're not going to be in my circle.
No, right. And that goes to like what you and Jack were talking about. Jack was saying like your gravity, and you are, man, like, because that goes to, I feel like the first thing like though is like you show up to like your people. I feel like, you know, like, hey, what do you need? What are you doing? How you doing? Like, that's big shit. And I feel like within coming to me as a man, like a lot of people that I thought were my people don't do that. And that's why I love that, like, how lifetimes, because like I met guys like you and Mark and Elliot that truly, you know, we've met on first occasions and it's true love and it's like what it is all the time instead of like picking and choosing. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why I fuck like with pillars like you guys, you know, because you keep it 100.
It's cool hearing, you know, Jack, because he has no reason to say the stuff he says about me besides that he believes that stuff. And I've heard from multiple people relayed to me as gravity, you know, and it's kind of cool when he says it too, because it's never been right directly to me. I've actually kind of walked up and like weird caught things of it, you know, and it's cool to know guys like that and other people talk that good behind your back, and hearing the explanation of what they say when I'm gravity is pretty cool too. Because I've heard it from a couple people and the different people's angles on it too. They end up meeting in the same middle, but they came from a different reason why. You know, and it took me a long time to even realize that I have any of that type of, I wouldn't call it power, but ability. to draw people towards me. Then once I figured out how that works, to make sure I don't abuse it and to make sure I'm using it the right way and to make sure that anybody that's drawn towards me, that I help them out the other way too, to make sure that they become their own center of gravity and people get drawn to them too.
And I think that goes back to someone not being here, Jason. Like when I first met both of you guys, it was just like, stick on glue. Like you guys carry each other really like the left and right, and like I feel like hold each other accountable. And like outside of like the meetings and stuff, if shit's going wrong, I feel like you guys do have. I know you guys have them conversations as men to evolve to the next thing, and that's important. And and I feel like when guys like Mark and them all see that, like, dude, we're all building off that shit, and that's why like our community is all doing our shit in our own way. It all starts with guys like you guys.
I appreciate
keep doing
that.
your shit.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
brother.
that.
Yeah, man. When I put up that just random post, I was trying to list as many people on there. But if you go back and watch, we all came to that thing just like in a bad place. Not everybody was like in like not the deepest, darkest dumps, but some of us were, some of us weren't. But dude, going back and looking, look at Dave Mueller. I would have never thought. That guy's getting ready to get married.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Like
I was working at Lee Mechanical at the time, and just busting my nuts at 9 to 5, and like if I never went to that men's group and like just seeing like guys really doing it by themselves. That took, dude. I went there and gambled, said I'm starting my car detailing business. I'm just gonna do it. Like quit this job. Live off that. And
watching you this, and all the rest of the guys in there doing the exact same thing. Jack had just bought some cameras. He wasn't even making money. Now it's a full-time career for him. Just going down the whole list of people in there, you're just like, wow, we actually did some cool shit.
We did.
And
we moved
even
the ball.
We moved the ball. That's 100%. And even if there's times that like I was living all the way in Lake St. Louis at the time, and I know there was many days after long days of work, I was just like, fuck, man, I got to go down there and do this now too. But then you get down there and do it, you're like,
that recharged you.
You're like, man, I needed that. If I had just gone home, gone to bed, or gone to the gym, like, no, not what that did. Even though sometimes you're like, it's a 40-minute drive there, 40-minute drive home, and I got to do this. It's a 4-hour commitment. But every single time you got done with that commitment, you're like, I know why I did that commitment,
It felt so good, bro.
It did. And I told Jack I'll be back soon.
I haven't been there either. I just I feel like we all just been tapped in our own way. Jack's been tapped in his own way. But that's like his way that he's been tapped in. We'll all get back to that in the right time.
I know for sure. As soon as summer's over, I told him, I said, I'll be back on there on Wednesdays.
I relate to you a lot in the hustler way too. From producing music back in the day, making your way in the door to become like a coach and shit. And you do have your own business and stuff now. What was the young foundation of that, Rocco, and just becoming like the hustler mindset? I feel like you weren't like, I feel like people could look at you and think like, oh, like he's got it all, but nah, bro, like that was hard work,
Yeah.
Very like gutter people,
Yeah, and at one point I was considered some of those. The hustler side of me happened when I was younger, and we wanted to make music. We wanted to make rap music, and nobody was going to give no white kids from North County at 16 years old money to make rap music. They looked at us like we were fucking crazy, like absolutely crazy. So we figured out a way to make it on our own. And a lot of stuff, people, when they hustled and did stupid shit, like they took that money and pissed it away when bottles,
buying pounds.
No, we didn't. We took that money and we put it directly into building music studios. Like put it in the clothing lines. We put all that money into things that we were trying to do that we know nobody was going to give us a loan. Nobody was going to make any of that money for us. So that's where the hustle came into play. I was hustling to put it back into a music business that was hustling. That like, man, that is a cutthroat game. And especially when you're white dudes, like, yeah, we like people can sit there and say that there wasn't a culture separation, but there actually is. And then eventually when like Dub and all these guys accepted us in, they're like, dude, these are our white people. These are our boys,
right.
And then Akon, Royce 5'9", Murph, Nelly, like, John made music with all these guys at some point. Not Nelly, but the rest of them. My best friends made all of Nelly's music. And we got to be in some cool ass rooms and do some really cool stuff because of what we did in that music game. And that all came from learning that nobody was going to give us that money, and we just figure out how to hustle to get there. And then once you're already there, I mean, you got to keep hustling to keep making sure the music keeps getting made.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, dude, what was it? What was that rate of an hour like back then at your time?
Oh, anywhere from $250 to $500 an hour for Fat Booze and Music Studios.
Oh yeah.
But we did our hustling thing, and we ended up having our ad agency on the second floor of Fat Buddha Music Studios for like 5 to 7 years, something like that. So like those guys and me are really, really close friends, and we would just trade web design for studio time, and start doing all it like that.
Do you know Davo?
Oh yeah,
that's my dog. Davo's recorded a lot of rap songs for me.
Yeah.
18-year-old Swerve was a rapper.
There you go.
That's my dog.
Yeah. Big Ross down there died recently. I don't know if you know
what?
That. Yeah. He had a heart attack in his car.
That's wild.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I'll tell you what, I tell Joy this all the time. I miss music. I'd love to go back to doing music again one day.
It's a great, and just being in the room, being like a Ross even.
Yeah.
And like, dude, Fat Buddha's a great place. I walk in there and Chase the Money would just be in there playing on the piano.
Yeah.
And then one time, like, we were recording and Davo was like, oh, we're in Studio B. He was like, you guys can't go over to A right now. Someone big's over there. He's like, I'll tell you when they leave. And then like, I was like, it was like 3 a.m. we were recording. I'm like, bro, who was it? He's like, Ray Shamir. This is like when they were up. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, so that world is definitely crazy. And from like where you guys started, now it's came way down in price. Because like people need it, and then like it's just that's how you record music. You don't record it at home.
That's where the problem came in the quality of music too. Like I would think back in the day when we were using actual studios and nobody was just using their. Now, don't get me wrong, technology's come a long way. You can put a mic in your living room and this, but when you're putting like people weren't even putting the sound stuff on there or like any of the
they just have it in their hand rapping over the laptop.
It's crazy. But that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we never attempted to do no shit like that. We always make sure you had a soundproof booth, you had all the stuff to make sure it worked out the right way. But man, kids now, but here's also another thing now. They're putting these songs out and getting these downloads and all this crazy shit, and they're fucking garbage.
Garbage.
It's absolutely garbage. The production's garbage. The beats are garbage. The sound's garbage.
I don't really listen to any new music.
I don't either. But what it taught me even now, and I hope it teaches a lot of young people and even older people what it teaches me now. It ain't got to be perfect.
No.
Just start putting shit out. Trying to make something perfect is also another form of procrastination, right? So if you sit around and every detail's got to be exactly the way it's supposed to be, then it's never going to come out. It doesn't matter if it's a Swervinn podcast or a detail shop or a new age or a song or whatever the case may be. If you sit here and wait till every fucking detail is absolutely perfect, it's never coming out. And also, you just lost out on a whole bunch of time that thing could have been coming out. Are there some things that need to wait until certain details are figured out? Yes, but for the most part, make sure put your stuff out. I don't care what it is. You want to start a business, start that business. You want to make some music, put your music out. I don't care what you want to do it and put it out. Don't wait for it to be perfect, or you're never going to make it.
I love that. What would be your second question for me?
Second question for you. What's your family goals?
Family goals within myself, or like my dad and all that?
No,
like,
within yourself.
Myself?
Like, you want kids? You want to be married?
Yeah, I'm definitely in that stage of life. Like, I'm looking for my wife and stuff. And that's why I feel like St. Louis was a hard dating scene for me. Like, my first year, I kind of just scoped out. It's like, oh, what is it? And then, like, the second year, I was like, all right, I'll put myself out there. But I'm very, like, particular, like, I know what I want, like, things like that. Know what I'm attracted to. But, when it's, like, one-on-one, like, I'm a nerd. Like,
so am I.
Dude, I don't go out to the club. Like, I'm not going out to that party unless I get invited. I like invitations. Like, if I'm hosting, I'm picking everyone that's there that they're going to be there. Shit like that. Like, dude, I'm very much okay with shit like that. And be on the, like, good morning, babe. I'm going to the golf course. See you tonight. Like, shit like that. So people just don't get that and stuff. And I feel like the dating world, people are out on Wednesday night and shit. Like, I got to be up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really do that shit to where people were like, I'm boring and shit like that. So I'm like, back to you. I'm looking for my wife that accepts me for being Swerve. That's just who I am. Like, just doing easy, simple shit. So I really haven't been like, dude, like, I'm chill, bro. This is my baby. Put my money into this. Like, just buy my time to this. Like, I feel like the right thing will come. And I feel like I was looking for a while, like, trying to, like, because I know what I like, just trying to, like, oh, like, cool. And then, like, get told I'm intense and shit. And I was like, you know what? All right, bet. Because I'm really the easiest going guy out there.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm just being my lane, bro, and just chill and just. I would like a wife and I would like kids and stuff because my parents were divorced, and like the first thing I said when they divorced was like, I'll never have that. Like, be married one time and just like, that's how you break cycles, So I don't drink and shit, and like I journal and shit like that because I'm all about truly like self-checking in and just evolving on that shit, not just talking about it, So that's how you really change, like you got to take some self-time, bro.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
This one girl, I didn't meet her in the club, but she works in the club, and we kind of like, so I know when she's spending time with me, she's checking boxes off of these niggas that are giving her time in the club, like what I'm standing up to that, but which is fine and all that, but once she really does, like she's fucking with me, but she's like so content with her life that she lives like that. So after like the sex and shit and all the dates and stuff and the texting, and I asked like, yo, what is this? And then that's when I finally get the answer like that I'm working on myself, like, yo, and I just have to respectfully say like, yo, don't tell me you're in the club working on yourself. That's not working on yourself, respectfully. Like working on yourself is like that's outside of that, and like I'm not even saying that like trying to force shit, but you're not giving attention to yourself in that environment. No. So I kind of like, that was my last situation. I said that and just kind of like, she just said I was crazy and shit like that. And I'm like, bro, you're like tripping if you think that. And I find like we didn't talk for like 3 months, bro. She was slandering my name around St. Louis. I treated her well. You can tell her that, like, great. So I seen her out at like Sippy the other day, just like smoking. And then like I was talking her circle with people, and then she walked in. I was like, fuck. So I avoid all problems. About left, and she came over. She was just like, "What's up, DJ?" And I was just like, "Oh, that's cool," because she knows the person I am at the end of the day. Like I'm a good ass dude. Yeah. So, yeah, bro, I'm just not gonna ever change who I am, and the right person will buy into that.
They will. That's for sure.
So
when you go back to the nerd stuff, so you said a question. What's something unique that people might want to know about me? I build Star Wars Legos.
Oh, I did see that. I was gonna, yeah. I love that. I got some movie questions for you too.
Yeah, man. That's like my nerd getaway. I haven't built one in a while, but that's where like, for one, I love Star Wars, but two, I love building things. I've always loved building things from my kid. It doesn't matter if it was a skateboard ramp or building a company or something. Like I just like things being constructed in front of me.
Is it more challenging or refreshing to you?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I actually get some Star Wars ones that are very, very challenging. People look at those like just because you got a guide, that don't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
Right. And then refreshing too. Like when I say, bro, that my phone goes off from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, and there's probably in a day, I know it sounds like a lot, but there's probably over 1,000 text messages come through my transactions every single day.
Damn.
And she can vouch for that. Like, I mean, there's times I look at my phone, I'll go to the bathroom, come back, and there's, 180 text messages in one chat. And it's a lot, but I'm blessed because of that. That means people want to interact and reach out to me. And there's, then you realize certain people that get mad when you don't reach back out to them and stuff like that. But that's a different subject. But what this does for me, I can kill all that noise. Set my phone down there, put some headphones in, pour a little bourbon, have a cigar, and just build until this thing's done, or until I'm done doing it for the night. And then when it's completed, I feel a high from it. There's not too many things anymore that give me a high. Before, when you're a sales guy, you get your first sale, it's a high. When our first business was paid off, that's a high. Like winning the championship's a high, but there's only certain little moments that still give me that high. I used to find ways to get that little high every day because that was like, I was addicted to that little high. Seeing a Star Wars Lego complete is I get that high. I'm just like, there it is. It's that little.
Do you ever try to like do it fast? Like you're just chilling most times?
I'm just chilling. Yeah, speed doesn't matter. I'm chilling. And if you try to catch me during one of those times, I promise you I ain't answering my phone. I'm not texting you back. I'm not doing none of that stuff. And I'm chill.
Man, I love that. I love that about you. We got some more questions in the Swervinn Q&A on some nerd shit. Pain frequency in life, man. Not changing who you are and showing up. What's the importance of
it? Of pain?
Yeah, and just I feel like taking pain and
pain equals change.
Pain equals change.
Pain equals change. That I live by that every single day, and I show that to people and tell that to people all the time. Most of the time, you don't make the changes that you're supposed to make until you feel the pain. Because I think people go down this road, and there's many different avenues going that road to feel change, to feel pain. You know, sometimes you feel pain that comes out of nowhere that you don't like. Like one of my best friends, the guy I made music with, shot himself.
Yeah,
That's a pain I never wanted to feel ever, but it made me change. Made a lot of us change, but it's not a change that I was expecting to have come out of that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's times that like you think you're doing something right, but you kind of know like it's a little shady, but you're not caught. Something hadn't happened yet. You're like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this, and bam, it happens, and you're like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. But motherfucker, you put that pain on yourself, and I've done that to myself hundreds of times. But feeling it, knowing I caused myself, also made me change. Going, well, you weren't going to get away with this shit forever, you idiot. So you needed to feel that pain to make that change, you know? And that's with friendships, life, family. I don't care what it is. You got to feel that pain to equal change. And if you figure out a way to change before the pain comes, well, that means you were mentored the right way, you were coached the right way, or you're self-in tune with certain situations that you know that's coming. Because everybody knows, like, you can start feeling everything's too good, everything's too calm. You're like, man, when the water's so calm and everything's good, just know a fucking storm's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to just be chill. Like, a storm's coming, and you either make the change before the storm comes, or you wait for it to hit and feel the pain, and then you make the change. But
that.
Either way, it's coming.
I love that, man. What's your thought on prescription pills versus mushrooms?
Mushrooms all day.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think like my mom, she battles drinking, and I try to like, I've been living with her the past year to save up for a car because I wrecked and all that shit. Life is weird. Like, as soon as I was the uppest up of my life ever. Podcast rolling, good money. I'm like, yeah, it's like, got a coffee one morning, bro. Fucking, this is crazy shit. So I was driving. This is the first time I'm telling the car wreck, so the listeners know that I wrecked. But I'm literally driving, bro. This 3-lane goes to 2-lane, but it's like the left lane's a left turn to flashing left turn to left. So I'm going over to go right, and I'm looking over. It's crazy how frequency works. This dude's pushing a car like on the side of the road. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get out and help them. So I do my double check around, look again. Bro, as soon as I come back, wham, crash my whole car. I ain't even sipped my coffee yet. Damn. So but I don't even got a scratch on me or nothing, I just felt like God was like, slow down, little nigga. Like, and I was like, all right. So, but I was just so pissed, bro. Like, at the moment, the ambulance, the fire truck was right behind me. Flashed them up. There was like,
it was that close to you?
Yeah, there was like, anybody needs to go to the hospital? I was like, no, my car, bro. Like, fuck me. Like, I'm worried about the car. So, dude, but I was in a bad mental spot for like a long time and shit. And but yeah, man, just taking time and just running with it. Like, I just feel like that's like one of the biggest things, like living day to day and just being in the motion. Like,
yeah,
because man, I thought I had everything, and dude, I just had to like get back to that little and that pain within myself to really be like, everything ain't great, and you got to slow down sometimes to really live within you and appreciate the shit. So that's kind of like why I revamped and took the time, and now I'm here. So
yeah, man,
that shit's important, man.
And it's gonna happen another 250 times in your life,
100%.
But until it happens, you don't realize why it happened and how it happened and what you got to do to fix it.
And then and then that goes back to my brother and like shit like that. But just the mushroom, like I just take mushrooms and shit, and it just eases me out, and just kind of like the frequency. When my brother died, I was in a really bad spot, like, because I felt like he killed himself. Like, I feel like he'll never, like, I know the closing gaps to that, and I feel like my mom knows that, but she'll never tell herself that because that's her first child. So I feel like that's why she drinks and has so much pain.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what she goes through with that. But, couldn't even imagine.
But yeah, that's why, like, I just do me though, because kind of tell her like, we can't dwell in this life. You got to just find something and grow involved with it. And like, I was in a dark spot, but mushrooms brought me out of that. And to my brother, like, yo, like, love people and be personable and shit like that. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. And like, my mom would just be like curious. Sometimes she'd be like, give me a cap. I'm like, I don't even have none. Like, what are you talking about? But I just be chill and just do me and just try to like, but I'd never like do pills and shit. And like, I had friends that OD'd and all that shit. And I'm just like, why and how? And my ex OD'd off fentanyl. And my last relationship, Like, she was the most beautiful ever. I didn't know she was even on that till 8 months in our relationship. And kind of just shit just started happening and shit. And thought it was a me thing for a long time, and it wasn't. You know, people really battle shit. So I was like, you know, man, fuck that. You know, like, people should always at least one time try it. Because I know people are, you know, get different problems. But I was like, dude, it could change the world.
Absolutely. So it's funny you say that too, because I got a good story. One of my best friends my whole life on planet Earth. Man, I'm talking about he's the happiest guy you ever met in your life at all times. So you thought. Man, barely drinks. Beautiful at what he does. His wife makes a ton of money. They got just an awesome life. And he was depressed. He was sad. You know, so he was on.
And you said he was married too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's actually one of my first friends that I ever had in the city. And then it was on Xanax. I don't know. It's one of the bad ones. One of the ones that took him to a dark place. And then he had to get off it because he's like, every day, even something that tells me I'm supposed to not kill myself that the doctors are giving me, it makes me want to take my own life. So when he was getting off of it, I mean, it was, I thought we were going to lose him.
Damn.
And another one of my best friends, he grows them.
Oh, for real?
So he's a scientist, like to a T, a scientist, and set it up to where he gave him a microdose version of it, gave him 30-day supply, and said, try these. He took them, and he called me, and he goes, hey, man, he just saved my life. You know, I might put names out there, but he's like, he just saved my life. He was like, so he's taken a microdose mushroom every day for the last 2 years now.
I love that.
And, you know, no problems, no nothing. Like, you know, it doesn't make them, like, people have an idea that's going to make you start feeling like you're tripping. No, it's going to just make you smile.
Yeah.
Just the same chemicals are happening in Xanax and Zoloft and all these other ones. It made them smile. And I have some friends right now, and I just told her the other day, I said, man, if everybody had not even a microdose, like a half a microdose, if everybody on planet Earth took a half a microdose every morning when they woke up, everybody be high-fiving and fucking smiling all day long.
Great
and there'd be nobody fighting with each other.
Great world.
Yeah, so I agree with it, and I think the pharmaceutical companies are very fucking scared of it because they know
they want to be in control.
It's going to remove anybody with anxiety. It's going to remove everybody from depression off their drugs that they're just feeding you to do it. Here's another thing. They're prescribing people those drugs. They're not even taking blood tests.
Nope.
There's people that might have just hormone imbalances, that their estrogen level for a guy is through the roof. Well, no wonder he's emotional as hell, that you think he's depressed or crazy or sad, because his estrogen level is like skyrocketed and shouldn't even be where it's at. He could take an estrogen blocker and bring him back down to reality where his testosterone levels make him feel better. Not depressed no more, has no more anxiety from it. But you got psychiatrists and psychologists and the rest of the departments that aren't taking labs and just fucking that's how you feel? Well, here, take this drug. And they're getting them hooked on these drugs without even taking labs.
That's why you pull up the New Age and get the supplements and just chop with Rocco and Jason or whoever they put you with.
Absolutely.
To get right. That's why he does that.
Yes, it is.
Rocco, Swervinn Q&A.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
It's just like the hot round.
We're just a hot round?
Yep.
So whatever comes first?
Yeah, the rapid fire.
All right.
Is there anything you wish you could change about social media?
Nope, there's not.
They're not?
Nope. And everybody's got all these different things they want to change about social media, but I could tell you this. If anything was changed, then we wouldn't have some of the stuff that we have currently right now. I think there's a lot of bad things out there, but I think there's a lot of really good things that come from social media. And I think just like anything in the direction of your life, if you remove or change one thing of it right now, it'll change the direction of everything. And I think the platforms are starting to evolve with AI and technology behind them, that they're starting to become and know who you are. And I think the connection between your friends, your family, your business, I think it's something that I think it's incredible, honestly. The only thing, not about the social media, I would change people's behaviors about being in their phone so much.
Dude, my phone's my office.
Right. But as far as what they're actually doing, I think just keep going.
No, I feel that. I love it. What's a book, movie, and podcast you recommend to the people? Could be personal feel, could be a recommendation to me.
So podcasts, Spittin' Chicklets is.
Oh, I love them.
You got to be a fan of some hockey. And
I'm gonna talk to them guys one day.
Laugh your ass off. Those guys are awesome. Then Andy Frisella, obviously. You know, as being a St. Louis guy, listening to Andy talk is really awesome. Those are the two I have on my phone saved, and those are the two I listen to all the time. Movie, is that what you said too? Gladiator, number one, all day long. Avatar is my number 2.
My dog.
Yeah, it
my
is.
dog.
See, because I'm wild. I believe number 2. I believe Avatar. I think that thing comes from some knowledge that we have.
Oh, 100%. Is the second better than the first?
First to me, but I love the second one too. I love both of them. But like as you start getting closer and closer with AI technology and robotics, and man, what was the movie with
Arrival?
Bruce Willis. No, Bruce Willis, Surrogate.
I haven't seen that.
So what they would do is you be in your own home and you sit in this like pod, and it connects your brain to somebody you created, a robot that you created, but it looks the way you want to look. And so basically you can't tell walking down the street if these are the surrogates or they're the humans, but most of the people don't like the way they look. They're sitting at home fat and lazy, and they have this beautiful looking woman or man that they're acting like, because their mind can connect to this robot.
Damn.
And
don't tell me no more. Don't tell me no more.
But right, you need to go look at Surrogate. But in my opinion, like what we're seeing in Avatar, where they're able to connect the brain
when he's in the pot,
to another being. I think we have that capability right now.
No, I think so too.
I believe that, and I know for a fact we've been to other planets. Regardless of what people want to sit here and believe, I know we've done that too. So I big fan of that. Man, as far as book goes, the one thing. Probably the one that impacted me most in my life is The One Thing. What it drilled into your mind, and go look this up, go buy this. I actually bought this from my old CRO, my old company, Thrive, and he absolutely flipped out and loved it after he read it. But everybody does so many different things, including myself. In our business, there's so many things that we can add into our business. But if you focus on one thing, one lane, one avenue, and don't break it and don't change it and just keep going at that one thing over and over and over again, that's how you win. That's how you become an expert. Too many people diversify everything they're doing in life and have so many different avenues they try to be the best at. Well, you can't be the best at everything. But if you find something that you're really good at, stick with it and get really, really good at that one thing, and I promise you're going to win.
I love that. I feel like that's where I'm at in my life right now, too.
My cousin Nick told me at a really young age, and I believe this, if you decide, it doesn't matter if you want to be a pro hockey player, you want to be a singer, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a mogul in business, but figure out what that business is. If you decide at a young age, I want to do this, this is what I want to do, and I don't want to do anything else, and you practice every single day at that one thing, I believe you can do that one thing. Now, you have to do that one thing. You can't be like, I want to be a hockey player, but then you do all these other things during the summer, and also you have to focus and do that one thing. And that's the hard part for people to realize, is like they think they're focused on that one thing, but then they're doing a bunch of other things. You have to do that one thing and that one thing only. And if you do, you can be that person you want to be, but don't break from anything else.
I love that. You just took me back to it. And there was this moment I had I kind of posted on my story today, actually. I was in Florida doing that around the mic thing, and I ran into a Baltimore Ravens player. This dude was huge. Like, I could just tell he was someone, and then, like, I was just talking to him. And that's when COVID just happened. They canceled football. So I asked him, what did I ask him? I was like, we were just interviewing. He was like, damn, man, you do this full time? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I play ball, and like, I'm the shit. I do that too. But like, I don't know, with COVID and stuff. And he was just like, sounds like you don't want to do that. And I was like, I needed that, because I was like, no, you're right. I was like, it's not that I was checked out. I was just checking into something else. Yeah. So I checked football out and then bought into this. And it's crazy to see like where I've been at with it now through hard work. Yeah. So I appreciate like how you just brought all that to life.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Vacation Rocco, dude, we're gonna kick it sometime. I see that, and we're gonna kick it sometime.
I love Vacation Rocco. He's fun.
What's your favorite spots to visit? Or what's a spot you would like, your favorite vacation, or a spot you frequently visit because you love it so much?
Well, a spot I frequently love so much is my business partner Steve and Kathy's lake house.
Okay.
It's the Ozarks. People forget how lucky we are. They'd be like, oh, it's dirty, blah, blah. Man, shut up. We know how lucky we are to have a place like that, 2 hours to hour and a half away from us. I mean, it's incredible. The
I've
amount
had
of
some
money
times.
that's on that lake and the homes and the boats. It's awesome. But what it does for us is they have a beautiful home and a beautiful boat. Yeah, sometimes we go to the bars and stuff like that, but we just like hanging out with us. We do hang on the docks. We go drop anchor. We get deep into conversations, like family shit. That's what it is. So, obviously, I'd love to be a beach and all that stuff all the time, but my favorite, like, just getaway is their house because, like, you ain't got nothing to worry about. It's just us. You just be ourselves, and then we laugh and joke and stay up and play pool and swim, and it's just cool.
And then just come right back home.
Just come right back home. It's cool like that. As far as my favorite place to be, it's Miami.
I don't know how to kick it in Miami, so I would have to go with someone like you to know how to kick it.
It's awesome. It is. It's truly awesome. I have one of my best friends, Brandon and Melissa, live down there. They got a condo that's on the water. Ashley and her wife live down there, and a bunch of people live down there. But that will be where my next home is located. It'll be in Miami.
I believe that. I know that.
That's for damn sure.
I
want a boat down there. I want all that. I love Miami.
A question I ask every guest when we wrap up: who would you like to see on Swervinn Podcast?
Who would I like to see on Swervinn Podcast? That's a good question right there. I mean, a lot of guys I was just about to say out there that you already have on there. So let's change that up a little bit. So one of my boys, his name's Jason Bridges. He owns Mattingly's. Him and his wife own Mattingly's, but he made Shake Your Tail Feather again. He made Over and Over Again. Made a lot of music for Sweat and Suit and on Britney Spears and all these guys. And he was in my wedding, one of my closest friends. But I think you two would have a really good conversation. He's a real down to earth, from Rittner, from the hood. Made a lot of rap music, and he's super fucking smart in business.
I love that.
And I can guarantee that's not nobody on your radar right now.
I know it's not.
Yeah, he would be a really good person for you to interview.
Thank you for that. I feel like that's a genuine answer. I feel like some people like they think about it, but just like I feel like you thought about that one.
Yeah, for sure. No, he'd be good.
Rocco, camera there. Plug what you got going on, and appreciate you pulling up, man.
Yeah, Rocco, New Age Health and Wellness. Come see us. Come get your levels checked. You never know where your stuff's gonna be at. If you want your makeup done, Joy Loveless, Artist Ed, a bunch of badass girls over there as well. So holler us if you need some help looking good.
Love that. Rocco, my guy, man.
Appreciate you.
My people, this is a Swervinn Podcast. We're back, but we're out.
We're out.